Welcome back to you, Channel Virgos. Okay, before we even start, I don't do predictions. I don't talk about the future. I don't make promises about what's coming. None of that. What we do here is present moment work, healing work, growth work. So if you came for fortune telling, this isn't it. But if you came for truth, for real talk, for someone to help you see what you need to see right now, then stay. And this is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave the rest. You know what's yours. And thank you for the likes, the subscriptions, the comments. I see you. I read everything. Okay, so this deceased man warns you of something brutal energy. And look, I need to reframe this immediately. Because, eh, Because when people see titles like this, they think I'm channeling spirits. They think I'm communicating with the dead. They think some ancestor's coming through with a message. But Virgo, that's not what this is. What this is really about, what Spirit is showing me right now, it's about the parts of you that have died, the old versions of yourself that you've had to kill, the dreams you've buried, the hope you've laid to rest, and those dead parts, those deceased versions of you, they're trying to warn you. They're trying to tell you something brutal about what you're doing right now, about what patterns you're repeating, about what mistakes you're making again. So first card, and the death card appears, and oh, Virgo, death is transformation, is endings, is something dying so something new can be born. And look at this skeleton in armor riding a white horse, and what this is showing me, what's coming through so strong is that you've already died. You've already gone through this death process. You've already let go of who you used to be. You've already buried parts of yourself that needed to go, and that person, that old version of you, she's trying to warn you. She's trying to tell you, don't go back. Don't resurrect what died for a reason. Don't dig up what you buried because it was toxic. And the reason I'm showing you this card, the reason we're talking about this death energy is because Virgo, you do this thing. You do this thing where you grieve and you heal and you grow and you transform, and then you get nostalgic, you get sentimental, you start romanticizing what was. You start forgetting why you let it go in the first place, and that is what the deceased man is warning you about. That's the brutal truth you need to hear. Stop trying to bring back what died. Stop trying to resurrect what you killed for your own survival. Stop trying to revive dynamics that already showed you they were poison. My chest feels so heavy right now. So heavy. Like I can barely breathe because this energy is intense. Okay, so let me pull what this brutal warning really is, what you're being cautioned about, and the Five of Pentacles appears, and wait. The Five of Pentacles is poverty, is being left out in the cold, is two people walking past a church in the snow, injured and struggling, and what I'm getting, what's downloading right now, is that the brutal warning, the harsh truth, it's that you're planning to go back to lack. You're considering returning to situations where you were starving for love, for respect, for basic human decency. And the deceased part of you, the version that survived that cold, she's screaming, no, don't do it. Don't go back there. You know what that feels like. You know what that does to you. Because here's the thing. Here's what I learned back in 2015 when I almost went back to something that had already destroyed me. When you're lonely, when you're tired, when you're vulnerable, your brain does this thing where it rewrites history, it softens the edges, it makes the bad times seem not so bad, it makes the pain seem worth it, and suddenly you're thinking, maybe I was too harsh, maybe I should give it another chance, maybe it wasn't as bad as I remember, and that is your trauma trying to protect you from the discomfort of being alone by convincing you to go back to the familiar discomfort of being mistreated. And the advice here, the real developmental work, is to honor your dead, to respect what you've already been through, to trust that the version of you who left, who walked away, who said no more, she knew what she was doing. She had reasons, good reasons, and those reasons, they haven't changed. The situation hasn't fundamentally shifted. You're just forgetting. You're just lonely. You're just tired of starting over. And Virgo, I get it. I really do. But going backwards isn't rest. Going backwards is regression. Going backwards is betraying every version of yourself that fought to get you here. Wait, let me pull what you need to understand about this deceased energy. What's really dying to tell you something. And the Eight of Swords appears. And look at this person, bound and blindfolded, surrounded by swords, stuck in the ground. And what this is showing me, what Spirit is revealing, is that the brutal warning, the harsh message, it's that you're binding yourself again. You're blindfolding yourself again. You're walking back into the prison you already escaped. And the deceased man, the dead version of you, she remembers what that felt like. She remembers the suffocation, the helplessness, the way you convinced yourself you had no choice when really you just didn't want to face the difficulty of choosing yourself. And this is where I need to give you some tough love, some real talk, because Virgo, you earned your freedom. You fought for it, you bled for it, you sacrificed for it, and now you're considering giving it away. You're thinking about putting those bindings back on. You're contemplating that blindfold again, because at least it's familiar. At least you know what to expect. At least you don't have to face the uncertainty of being free. And that is what's brutal. That's what's harsh. That's what the deceased parts of you are desperate for you to see. You're choosing captivity over uncertainty. You're choosing familiar pain over unknown possibility. So the advice, the psychological work you need to do here is to ask yourself why. Why are you so afraid of your own freedom? Why does being unbound feel more dangerous than being trapped? Why are you more comfortable in dysfunction than in peace? And Virgo, don't give me surface answers. Don't tell me it's because you're loyal or hopeful or patient. Go deeper. Ask yourself, what belief is driving this? What wound is feeding this? What part of you feels safer in suffering than in joy? Because that's the work. That's where the healing needs to happen. Okay, so let me see what this something brutal really is. What the core message is. And I'm pulling and the devil appears. And oh my God, Virgo, the devil is addiction, is bondage, is choosing what hurts you over and over. And look at these two figures chained to the devil's pedestal. But the chains are loose. They could walk away anytime they want, but they're not. They're staying. And what I'm getting, what's coming through crystal clear, is that the brutal truth, the harsh warning from your deceased self, it's that you're addicted. You're addicted to drama, to chaos, to proving yourself, to earning love that should be freely given. And that addiction, it's killing you slowly. And the work, the real understanding you need to have is that addiction isn't just about substances. It's about patterns. It's about dynamics. It's about relationships and situations that give you a hit, that make you feel something, even if that something is pain. And Virgo, you've been sober, you've been clean, you've been free from this addiction, and now you're thinking about using again. You're considering going back to your drug of choice, and the deceased version of you, the one who detoxed, who went through withdrawal, who survived the cravings, she's begging you, don't throw away your sobriety for a hit of familiarity. Wait, my phone just buzzed and scared me. I thought I put it on silent. Okay, so what I was saying is that this devil energy, this addiction pattern, It's sneaky, sneaky because it doesn't feel like addiction. It feels like love. It feels like loyalty. It feels like hope. But Virgo, if you have to convince yourself, if you have to rationalize, if you have to explain away red flags, that's not love. That's addiction. That's you chasing a high that's destroying you. And the brutal warning, the harsh message is stop. Just stop. Walk away from the pedestal. Remove the chains that are barely even holding you. Choose sobriety over the familiar rush of dysfunction. Because here's the thing, Virgo. Here's what nobody tells you about going back, about resurrecting what died. It never comes back the same. It never comes back better. It comes back worse, worse, because now you know. Now you have evidence. Now you can't pretend ignorance. And that makes the suffering more conscious, more deliberate, more self-inflicted, and the deceased parts of you, they remember this. They know this. They're trying to save you from making the same mistakes they made, from learning the same lessons the hard way again. And I'm telling you this from experience. From 2019, when I tried to bring back something that had already run its course, when I thought maybe with time, maybe with distance, maybe with growth it could be different, and it wasn't. It was exactly the same dysfunction with a new coat of paint, and I wasted months of my life trying to make dead things live, trying to resurrect what needed to stay buried, and the only thing that died was more of me, more of my time, more of my energy, more of my hope. And the version of me that finally left for good, she wishes she could go back and warn the version that went back. She wishes she could tell her it's not worth it. It's never worth it. So the developmental work, the real growth here is to listen. Listen to your dead. Listen to your past selves. Listen to the versions of you that already learned these lessons and honor their sacrifice. Honor their struggle. Honor their wisdom by not making them die in vain, by not repeating what they already survived. And Virgo, I know it's hard. I know being alone feels impossible. I know starting over feels exhausting, but going backwards, that's not rest. That's not safety. That's not love. That's self-destruction dressed up as second chances. Okay, so let me pull one more card, one more piece of guidance about what you need to do right now. And the Hermit appears, and look at this figure alone with a lamp seeking truth in solitude. And what this is telling me, what Spirit is saying is that you need to be alone, really alone, not looking for someone to fill the void, not searching for someone to validate you, not waiting for someone to save you, but just alone with yourself, with your thoughts, with your truth. And the deceased man, the dead parts of you, they can speak to you there. They can warn you there. They can guide you there if you're willing to listen. And the practical advice here, the thing you need to do today, right now, is to stop. Stop moving. Stop searching. Stop trying to fix or find or force anything, and just sit. Sit with yourself and ask, what am I running from? What am I trying to avoid by going back? What truth am I not willing to face about being alone? And then listen. Really listen to what comes up, because that is where the brutal warning lives. That's where the deceased parts of you are trying to tell you something you need to hear. Because Virgo, the something brutal, the harsh truth, it's not some external danger. It's not some person plotting against you. It's you. It's what you're doing to yourself. It's how you're planning to betray yourself again. It's the ways you're getting ready to abandon yourself again. And the only person who can stop that, the only person who can heed the warning, it's you. It's always you. You're the only one with the power to choose differently, to honor what died, to respect your own growth. Okay, so here's what I need you to do, what I need you to commit to right now. Now, I need you to comment below, just type, I honor my dead, just those 4 words, because I want you to claim it. I want you to acknowledge that the parts of you that died, they died for a reason. They served a purpose. They protected you. And when you type it, I want you to think about what you've already survived, what you've already let go of, what you've already buried, and commit. Commit to not digging it up, to not resurrecting what needs to stay dead, to not going back to what you already escaped. So stay magic, Virgo. Honor that death transformation. Don't return to that. Five of Pentacles, poverty. Remove those. Eight of Swords, blindfolds and bindings. Break free from that devil addiction. Embrace the hermit's solitude and truth. And remember, the deceased man warning you. It's you. It's your past self. It's every version of you that already learned these lessons the hard way. And she's begging you. She's pleading with you. Don't make her sacrifices meaningless. Don't let her pain be for nothing. Don't go back to what she died to escape and those weirdos trying to pull you backwards, those puds wanting you to regress, those losers on the ground who benefit from your dysfunction. They can all kick rocks because you're not going back. You're not resurrecting dead things. You're not dishonoring your own growth by choosing familiar suffering over unknown peace.